Hey guys, we are back, your resident sports parents, where we talk about experiences that we have experienced with our children. And raising young athletes is not something that is easy, but it's something that we learn new things every day. And we wanted to bring you a recent story that we experienced. Well,
Well,
sort of,
no, you experienced.
yeah. So I brought O'Shea to a basketball training session, and there was a young lady. She was brand new. And just for those of you who may not know, this particular trainer, he has a group of trainers that he works with, and they are hardcore. And they get on you from day one. And it's not to make you be discouraged, but it's kind of like a,
It's a motivational. It's trying to prepare you for your future. If you're serious about the game and you want to play at a high level, they're preparing you for that because you're not gonna be able to go through life or your career not getting yelled at, not being held accountable for mistakes, not you know facing any repercussions if you're doing things
right.
wrong. Like you got to be able to handle the critique, the coaching, all of that. So that's how we look at it. It's preparing them for the future. Like it's not for the average player that's just interested in just playing basketball, but is not that serious about it. Maybe wants to play in high school, maybe not. Like it's not for that. It's for the player that's really, really dedicated to the game.
Yeah, serious.
Mhm.
And I call it the tough love approach,
Yeah.
where you almost scare the person into doing as best as they possibly can, which means, an example, if they're giving you a direction on how to play or pass the ball around or get to the basket, if you do it wrong or if you have a misstep, they're calling you out in front of everybody. And sometimes, yeah, they raise their voice. Sometimes they'll kind of get close, like not like
Yeah.
in your face, but they will challenge you. They will ask you questions. It's kind
Hmm.
of like military
Yeah, it
style.
is. Yeah.
And the ones who break down, either they quit or it makes them stronger. And I wanted to bring this to you because today we experienced a situation where a young lady who came for the first time, she had one of those situations where they were kind of yelling at her from point one, just running up and down the court. She was kind of being slow, and they could tell she wasn't running her harder, so they called her out. So that was that was number one. Number two, there was a basketball IQ session that they were doing where you pass the ball around. You have to be positioning yourself in the best position for the play, which could mean getting close to the person you're defending, which could mean filling in a gap, which could mean cutting off the defense on another play. She wasn't in the right position, and they called her out. Then when they did, her body language was horrible, and she got called out, told to leave, which in a sense they tell you to leave, but you don't really leave. They tell you, if you don't want to be here, go sit down. That means if you don't want to be here, go sit down, but they're hoping that you do want to be there and you keep standing.
Yeah. It's kind of like a mental test.
It's like a mental toughness kind of test. And at one point, she said, "No, I don't want to be here." And she leaves. And when she sits down, she is crying profusely. And I felt that as a woman, I've been there. I'm a former athlete. I played in middle school, high school, a little bit in college. And I just remember feeling like I felt like I knew how she felt. So I felt the urge to speak to her. Before I could get up, her what I learned later was her uncle took her into the hallway, was consoling her, telling her it's going to be okay. But it's how he handled it that really made me, I don't know. It just, what's the word I'm looking for? It's how he handled it that made me disappointed. I was hoping he would say, you know what, you gotta get back in there. Life is gonna throw you curveballs. It's not always gonna be easy. Finish this out, see it through. But instead, it was kind of like, you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. I know, blah blah blah. I, he's not going to do anything to you. And I think it was his way of trying to console her, but I was just like, my response was, you know what? I'm a former player. I introduced myself and I said, listen, you don't know me. I know, but my son is in there. He's in your group. I just wanted to come out here and make sure you're okay. Just so you know, I played basketball. I played in middle school, played a little bit in college, played in high school. So I understand how you may be feeling. Being a young lady, I asked her age. I asked her if she liked basketball, if she saw herself playing at the, higher levels. And, she seemed, receptive, and she said she liked basketball. She was not sure she wants to play like at the collegiate level or whatever. But then I started to talk to her and explain to her how important it was for her to get back in there. I said, listen, if this is not your thing, that's fine. If you don't want to do it, that's okay, but at least see it through. I I think the way she reacted, I think it was worth an apology. I suggested that she go inside and apologize, because the way I was seeing it is that if you're on a team and a coach yells at you and you storm off the court, you're setting a bad example for your team. That's how I was looking at it. You're also disrespecting your coach. In this case, to me, her walking off like that with an attitude and was just like, no, I don't want to be here. That was kind of disrespectful. And I felt that she should have apologized, but I'm not going to argue with a man who I don't know. So I said, okay, if that's not what you feel you want to do, your uncle says, he doesn't want you to apologize. He doesn't think you need to apologize. That's, if that's how you feel, okay, but at least go in and have a conversation. At least go in and talk to your trainer, talk to your coach, because in life, you're going to have to deal with situations like this, whether it's a coach, whether it's a teacher, whether it's an employer, whether it's a colleague. I said, I've worked with kids, and I can honestly say when they know how to articulate and explain how they're feeling, her uncle's response was, she's a child. She shouldn't have to go and speak to an adult and explain her feelings or whatever. I said, okay. I said, all right. Okay, if that's how you feel, I said, look, again, we can agree to disagree, and that's okay. I said, but if you ever want to talk to me, want to run things by me, he does think that she should have spoken to him, but not necessarily apologize. I can work with that. Mm-hmm. But he was also kind of saying, a 13-year-old shouldn't have to speak to, an adult. And I said, well, that's why she has you here. You're her uncle. You can stand right by her and, and speak and, like kind of guide her through the process. But I think it's important. And I say all of this because when we talk about O'Shea, and I explained to her, our son went through the exact same thing. I said, he didn't cry once, he didn't cry twice, he cried multiple times. And it's been a year since he's been coming here, and I can promise you, you will get through it. And I said, he kept coming back, he kept pushing through. And I said, listen, if this is what you want, just keep coming back.
Yeah. The biggest thing is the first day was getting through the workout. You got to finish the workout.
The first day is a
like it was very overwhelming for O'Shea. Like he never went through a workout like that. I think we told the story one time before, but like we couldn't even know where he was. He's in the bathroom. Comes back, he's crying. Then he goes outside. We go outside with him. The coach comes out, sends me and her back inside. You inside, and then he says whatever he says. O'Shea gets out there, finishes the workout. You're supposed to. You don't want to quit midway anything. And then he decided he wanted to continue. So sometimes you gotta just get through that one workout. Like it makes you tougher. A quick story. I played football in 11th grade. Mm-hmm. I knew 2 practices in, this was a horrible decision. Like one of the worst things I've ever decided to do. I did not want to do this. I realized this is not something for me. But I said, I'm not quitting this. I can't quit. I did it really just to prepare for basketball and baseball season. I figured I'll get in great shape. I didn't realize how hard this was. And this is not a sport that I grew up really playing. I never played organized football. at that time wasn't even really watching football like that. I wasn't a
Hmm.
big fan. But I knew two practices in, this is going to be torture, but I'm not quitting. I'm not going to just throw in the towel. And I made it through the season.
Yeah, and
You just got to power through.
it's a story of life. This is what you go through with O'Shea. He started playing soccer, what, 3 years old or something like
Mm-hmm.
that, and he hated it. He
Yeah.
hated it. But we were not gonna have him quit midway. We were like, listen, if you don't want to play next year, if soccer's not for you, fine, but at least finish this like season. Just finish it out, get
Mm-hmm.
your little, medal, whatever it is that they
Yeah.
give you, little plaque,
Certificate.
certificate. Get that, finish it, and let that be it. Look at it in the rearview mirror, and we'll move on to something else. But it was disappointing to see this girl just quit because I ended up leaving them and said, "Listen, I'm here for the rest of the day. If you want to talk to me, that's fine." Um, and at one point, I did say, your uncle, he's here for you. But like as a female, I've been through this as a woman. I was 13, and I see myself in you. I said, I'm here if you, want to talk to me or run things by me. You want to rehearse some Q&As. I do that with my kids all the time. You know, I'm right here. When I constantly looked for the rest of the training session to see if she would come back in, never did. When we left, she was gone. And even though she was just like, what happened to that girl? And I told him the story, and he was just like, yeah, like he was just kind of like, oh, well, and that sucks because for that little time, they were like kind of teammates. They were
Yeah.
playing together. So it is what it is, I guess. And I just wanted to share that story because I want to leave you with this. When it comes to your kids playing any sport, I think number one, not everybody's going to be like Michael Jordan or Sue Bird or whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, encourage them. Don't just say, hey, we can leave here. You don't have to go back in. You don't have to apologize. Think of it as like, yeah, this is not a team, but you are a team for that little
For
time that
that
you're
day. Yeah.
together for that
Mm-hmm.
day. You are a team. So body language is key. Lock in to where you're at. It's practice, but you get through it. Be accountable. Don't give up. We encourage our children um, to power through. So if you can sum it up and let's give 5 tips. 5 tips. What would you say? Number one,
But don't give up.
don't give up. If it's your first time going to a session and you feel like, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming, take deep breaths. And I telling this girl this, so she thought I was crazy probably, but you get so much like relaxation through just taking deep breaths and slowly letting it out. If you need to go to the bathroom to cry for a little bit, I tell O'Shea this all the time, go in the bathroom and cry. It's fine. Let it out. You got to let it out somehow. And then you come back in, good as new, wash your face, wash your hands, and be present. Number two, don't let your teammates down.
Yeah.
Don't let them down. It's not always about you
Or your coaches, and
or your
teammates, and your
coaches.
coaches. Yeah. And these guys they're hardcore, but they're hardcore because they care.
They care.
This is not, like a lot of trainers will just take your money and just sit there and,
Yeah.
like give you some nonsense to do and call that a session. They're going to challenge you, and they're gonna make sure you get better because that's their job, and they take it serious, and they really care about
Yeah.
your development.
Right. Three, find somebody who you can talk to. That's important. Somebody who can encourage you, someone who will make you feel good, know what to tell you, and get you through the process. Sometimes a good friend, a mom, a dad, somebody you trust is all you need to get you through it. Number four.
I would say think about your goals. Like what do you want to get out of this? And if you have big dreams and you want to get a scholarship to play D1 or go to the NBA, WNBA, you have big dreams, you have to realize like there's going to be a lot of hard moments in that journey to get to where you want to be. Like it's not easy no, it's never going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're going to have very uncomfortable moments. Like there's a saying, it might be a Kobe saying, like get be comfortable being uncomfortable,
Yeah.
because if you're not uncomfortable then you're probably not getting better. So if you have big dreams, when you're out there, you should always be thinking about your goals. You have to get through this to get to the next step, and then to the next step after that. So always think about your dreams and what you want to.
Last but not least,
Yeah.
I think it's important to also find another outlet. Say I blow a forecast and I'm like, damn, I said it was going to snow. We're going to get like 6 inches. We only got like two. I'm home licking my wounds. I'm home like overthinking it, feeling uncomfortable. Oh my God, what did I do? But what I do is I find something to just take my mind off of it for a little bit. It could be streaming
Mm.
some kind of Netflix show, documentary. I'll do something to relax me to get my mind off of it, even if it's for a little bit. I always go back to it. I always go back to, um, finding my center and sticking and seeing my passion through. And sometimes it's okay to do that. This is a bonus tip. Start journaling. That's something that O'Shea started doing, and that has helped him. He'll journal and I haven't read it. I'm not allowed to read it. Neither are you.
I don't even know where it is.
There are times I try to find it, can't find it. But I would stop myself because I think he needs his own personal, space. But that provides him with a center because he has a hard time communicating sometimes. So journaling, I think, has helped him in a big way. So he will be writing, and he puts it in a safe place. And maybe one day we get to read it. I don't know, but I asked him one day, what are you writing about? And he's like, basketball. And he'll like draw little pictures, and I think it's little notes to himself. But I'm not sure, but it's definitely helped him. So I hope you guys find this, informative. I hope if your son or daughter are going through something like this, that this has helped you. Please share your stories. We always want to hear it. And leave a comment below. Feel free to reach out if you need any help, advice, want to vent. You can do that too. And I guess we'll see you in the next one.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Bye.